Here's a great clip we never got to see on YouTube. And I found out some crazy stuff. Now, in the meantime, for those of you that believe that this life is nothing but a joke and a coincidence, I happen to say it's all very synchronistic. It's confirmation of spirit. It's a lot of different things. This is how we communicate. And I know this whole story about telepathy leaves a bad taste in people's mouths because we always have to decide for every thought that we're having, especially if it's controversial to someone that may be in your peer group. It would be the question of, am I crazy? Am I mind controlled? Or am I having a supernatural experience? A lot of people don't believe in supernatural experiences also, although they witness them every day. I think that has to do a little bit with the mind control. Maybe a lot, right? And how crazy is it? I mean, how crazy do you really think you are when you find out that everything you believed had been manipulated? I mean, wouldn't that be the natural, easy response, that everybody is just crazy? Well, I don't think so. And maybe it's because my whole life people were making fun of what I said and said, "Oh, Suze, you're crazy. Oh, Suze, you're wild. Oh, Suze, you know, you're a Pisces, so you're confused and flaky." I mean, whatever. Pick an excuse. Whatever makes anybody feel better about themselves is just fine with me. But I will talk about it. It always helps. So, let me tell you why I jumped online like a bat out of hell. Is because when Pace Magazine's song about keep my big mouth shut, you know, got done, here's what it said. Why don't you start a live stream right now? I have never seen that on any of the live streams I've watched, where you get done and they say, "Hey, why don't you start up a video, Red?" I mean, I was like, all right, let's do this. So, I was gonna live stream anyhow, because I have a very special shirt on today. And, you know, being the fashion icon I am and the diva that has to dress up or, you know, go out to the store and buy something new, I thought I'd tell a story about this particular shirt. Now, what it says is girls kick butt. And the last time I wore this shirt, believe it or not, was on December 26th, 2000. And I know that because that's the day that I gave birth to Ian in this big water tank. So, you know, I have 3 kids. One is 31, one is 22, and one will be starting their 19th cycle, which would be Ian. See, people say, how old's Ian? Is he going to be a senior? Well, yeah. How old is he? It's like this is a setup. Because, as you know, I do life charting, so your first year, you're not 0. You're in your first year. Do you consider life in the womb, which is where life starts, and most people do. But remember, we were all raised with the idea that you're just a fetus. Remember that story? Before they started like really acknowledging, you know, how this process goes on. Now it's such a huge market. Everybody's got a stake in it, in your humanity. But anyhow, all right, so, you know, my first daughter, I wanted to labor in the water, but I couldn't because I had toxemia. Toxemia is high blood pressure when you're pregnant. And of course, I was majorly stressed because Dopey the turnip had told me to abort her. You want to know why I was stressed? How I got stuck with the wrong person that I loved. Blow me sideways. A lot of people have that happen to them. So, Lauren, natural childbirth. But they weren't allowing water births in Missouri because, you know, that's surely dangerous. And you won't need drugs. See, you can't be all high when you're in the water because they're afraid you're going to drown. So imagine, here I am and I'm going to have a water birth. And my pregnancy is fine. I'm strong. I'm healthy. How old am I? Well, if I'm born in 64 and it's 2000, and you add a year, so I'm 37, right? When I'm pregnant with Ian, give or take a minute. And my doctor, Dr. Newport, he was in his 70s, and of course he had given birth to me. And we've been around the track, you know, we were friends. And he had never done a water birth because in 87, when I was pregnant with Chelsea and had the C-section, of course, he was the one cutting me open, not the one in the tub with me. Which, you know, you do see some of these midwives and doctors actually get into the tub. And that's even a little more weird for people. But Dr. Newport was not going to be in the tub with me at Christian Northwest Hospital. I was supposed to have a midwife. Now, the midwife, she was on vacation visiting her relatives because it was the holidays. And in the meantime, about a week and a half before I had Ian, I had had my last ultrasound. And I'd have to say the dialect of the woman was like Russian or something. And, you know, she's giving me the ultrasound and all that. And she says, "You see white, round baby? Baby fat. 10.5 pounds. I was like, no fucking way. I mean, you know, Chelsea was 6 pounds, 11 ounces. Lauren was 8 pounds, 11 ounces with a bowling ball head. And now I'm going to have a 10.5 pound kid. I'm 5'3". Hey, no problems. So, you see this? Baby fat. Well, at this point, they were terrified to let me in the birthing tank because what they worry about is a condition called shoulder dysplasia. And so if baby too big, what happens is when baby gets in those ischial spines, you see, baby gets stuck. And the only way to get them through is for their shoulders to kind of break, right? So they were a little nervous about that. I was a little nervous about that, right? But anyhow, it's Christmas. And this is a true story. I mean, all my stories are true. I know people don't believe it. But blow me sideways. Wait till I tell you what blow me sideways means. I found out over the weekend. Long story. You might want to start Googling it right now. Oh, you'll find it. Well, anyhow. Okay, so it's Christmas night. And I'm watching like some old retro TV show. I don't remember which one. It makes no difference. And I heard this knocking on my belly. I mean, it was inside, you know, not on the outside, right? And it was like, ch-ch-ch. And all of a sudden, all this water came flying out of me. For anybody that's never had a baby or doesn't know about sex ed, that's when your water breaks. So, what I did was I got up. I ain't even kidding you. And I ran into the bathroom. And I straddled that toilet so all the water could fly into the toilet because, I mean, my water didn't break like that with Chelsea or with Lauren. We're talking about Niagara Falls kind of stuff is what it felt like to me. So anyhow, I was in labor. This happened, about 6 minutes after midnight. The action started after all the water is, kind of slowing down. And so we went to the hospital, and the tank was already there. I had rented it. It's like a big jacuzzi. But we're not at Northwest having the baby. We're at DePaul. Northwest was going to be with Chelsea. Don't get it twisted. So when we talk about the state of Missouri, there are very, very few places that will even consider allowing you to labor in water. And hey, it doesn't even hurt there. What a trip. Because you know how gravity is different. So for anybody that's had a baby, your contractions are like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and that's why it hurts. And that's why women get pissed off and say, stick that needle in my back, I don't want to feel a thing. It's a racket. Oh wait, I better be careful, I'll get an orange stream. I want a nice green stream. I want everything cool. Okay, so there's like 7 people gonna watch me give birth. Now this doesn't include the doctors and the nurses and all the little extra people. We're talking about family and friends are coming to watch me have a baby. So back to the shirt. People tease me all the time, okay? I'm too old to dress like I do. What kind of statement is that when I see people half my age that don't have a neck, or their body shape is real odd, and so they're wearing geriatric clothes when they're in their 20s. You know what? I'm a hairdresser. I'll wear any daggum thing I want. And don't forget, the hairdressers didn't think I dressed wild enough. How can you make anybody happy if you play their game, right? I dress how I want to dress. I want to be comfortable. I like it to be soft. I won't wear dry clean. I like Levi's. I don't wear heels. I'm not saying I can't. I'm saying I don't. I'll do anything I want. It's kind of like when people still tease me. And they say, hey, Suze, remember when you said you'd never get online? And I look at them. I'm like, do you not remember why I'm online? They recruited me. I didn't come willingly. I came because I had a mission. And that's why I don't play silly games on the internet. Dag. They told me to stay on... focus. Randy Moggins, focus. Don't follow people around. Don't waste your time. Don't get caught up in the drama, Mama. Well, hell, my whole life is drama. I'm not telling it for any reason other than to document what has happened to humankind. Just because my story is a little weirder around the edges, or I come from a very unique background, which, what a story that is, right? We're all spiritual beings having this human experience. So, back to the way I dress and why I choose to do what I do when I do it. Well, see, even though a lot of people think I'm tawdry, I never ran around naked with people. I'm not down with all that. And it's not because I'm embarrassed of my body. I was never one of those bitches taking their clothes off with all the other girls on the fence dancing. I was hanging out with the guys talking to Mary Jane. Whatever. So, I didn't want to be naked in front of everybody. But, promise you'll be naked if you're getting in the water to have a kid. And I said, hey, man, Dr. Newport, really? I mean, I could wear this little short shirt, right? Because if, believe me, the only thing that was covered was my boobs. But I felt better because you see what was going to happen was one of my friends was going to hold me under my arms because I'm laying in this pool. I'm stretched out the full length of the pool. And I'm having this great labor and I'm not in pain and I'm not on drugs. I got to actually drink tea. You guys know how much I like tea. But this was the special tea. Can't remember the name. It's been too long. Fenugreek. Maybe I can remember. Alright, so there's a tea that's supposed to help your uterus do all the natural things, and then of course after you have this baby, it helps to tighten your uterus back up too. It also helps with milk production, and yes, I nursed all my kids. That's a whole other thing to start a war over these days. Good grief. Okay, so my friend Lisa is holding me under my arms, under my pits, and I'm whooshing in this tub back and forth. And then I got another friend there who she's really scrappy and skinny, no muscle tone whatsoever. And granted, like, she would have been family, the closest stylist to the queen of the hair shop story, right? Love my kids, felt like another mother. She's just watching with her mouth hanging open. And then we got a few 14-year-old girls that wanted to see childbirth. So they're there. Didn't mean to sound like, to use that improper English, that they are watching in that room. There you go. And Dobie the turnip was there. I don't really remember who else. But there were a lot of people there. So, why did I wear this shirt today? Intuition, inspiration, imagination, all Rudolf Steiner qualities. And why? Why does everybody keep talking about Helena Blavatsky? Yeah.